Hello, Grace Lighthouse, and welcome to those of you who may not know us. We are happy to present to you today Budgeting 101, Creating the Written Budget. The objectives of today's presentation are to help you understand the reason or the need for a written budget. We'll also show you how to create a written budget and also what tools are available to assist you in creating a budget. Let us start by introducing ourselves. My name is Deirdre, and I'm here with my husband, Paul.
Hello.
We've been working the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University program for about 5.5 years now. We're currently on baby step 7 and started this program with over $260,000 of debt. We're also Financial Peace University coordinators and have been leading FPU classes for about 3 years. The budgeting principles you will learn today are right from the Dave Ramsey program and were not created by us. We are simply sharing this information with you, and more information about Dave Ramsey and his program can be found at his website at daveramsey.com. I'm going to turn the rest of this presentation over to my husband, Paul.
Well, thank you, Deirdre. So this is about creating a written budget. But before we get into that, we just want to go over the 7 baby steps of Financial Peace University as outlined by Dave Ramsey. You can see in the 7 baby steps that first you start off with a $1,000 emergency fund. Now, Dave Ramsey knows that that's not really going to do it as far as a fully funded emergency fund, but we started at $1,000, and that's just a way of being able to fix the tires if you need to on your car, the alternator, or you have some type of a small emergency, you need to get the washer fixed, things like that. We know it's not really going to do it as far as an emergency fund, but it's a place to start so you can start focusing and concentrating on baby step 2, which is your debt snowball. That's where you list your debts from smallest balance to largest balance and start tackling them in that order. Once you're out of debt, except for your home, you work on baby step 3, which is accruing 3 to 6 months of savings for an emergency fund. We can see in today's world that that is an important part of Financial Peace University. Once that's complete, you would then resume and put in 15% into retirement. And then those that have kids and a home, you would work baby steps 5, 6, and 7 together by saving for the kids' college fund, paying off your home early, and where Deirdre and I land right now, which is baby step 7, which is building wealth and giving generously. So that's just sort of the snapshot of the 7 baby steps of Financial Peace University. We hope that when life resumes and we have FPU at Grace Lighthouse, that you can join us for that. But let's get to the matter at hand, which is budgeting. So what budgeting really is, it's about telling your money where it needs to go and sort of not vice versa, right? You gain control over your spending because you're assigning where that money goes. And it really is a freedom, not a restriction. Although, truth be told, when I first started budgeting with Deirdre and we started our journey down FPU, it kind of did feel like a restriction at first. But now we know it's anything but that. It allows for the freedom. It's where you start, is that budgeting process. Speaking of where to start, you can take paper and pencil. There is nothing wrong with that, starting it out. If you're a paper and pencil kind of person, grab that sheet of paper, grab that pen or pencil, and start working on it. Or you can do it digitally. You can use your computer, you can use spreadsheets or anything you want. Or you can use Dave Ramsey's free tool, everydollar.com. We'll show you a little bit about that in a few minutes. Any way you approach it, it's the same. First things first, we start with what is your income? As we head into the month of May, let's take a look at what is your income looking like for May. Take a look at the calendar. It is a 5 Friday month. So if you get paid on a weekly basis and on a Friday, there's a good chance you may see 5 paychecks instead of 4. If you get paid biweekly, there may be a chance that you see 3 paychecks, not 2. So take a look at the calendar and then project out your income for May. Make sure you're listing the net. You want to work with the money that you actually are going to have coming into your account so that you can budget and assign every single dollar to its place. If you have irregular income, someone like myself who's self-employed, we certainly can see our stretches of irregular income. You want to make sure you take an historical average. I know we're in unique times at the moment, but take your best guess if you're not really sure, and you want to list that for the month. Single people, you have your income. Married couples, you have the household income. Money that's coming in that you control so that you can assign it to the expenses. That's what you want to put down as your income for the month of May. Pretty simple, straightforward, hopefully. Once you have your income written down, let's now take a look at what's going out the door, the expenses for the month. You want to write down your household expenses for the upcoming month. May is coming up. Best thing to do, the approach would be to group by basic categories. And you can see the ones we have listed there. We're going to go into a little more detail of those just to give you a better idea. But also take into account any non-monthly bills that might show up. For instance, your auto excise tax bill, is that going to be coming up? Your property tax, if you have owned property. Is your car up for inspection and you got to have that done? If you do have a quarterly water bill, things like that, that you sort of always get surprised in the mail, right? Oh yeah, it's time for that. We want to really start planning for that and making sure that if that's coming up, that you have that assigned in your budget for May. When we dig into the categories a little bit, just to give you a better idea of what those categories represent, we have the food category, which is, of course, groceries. Then we have restaurants. The dining in really isn't an option right now, but takeout and curbside still is. Transportation, we've got, how much does it cost to fill up the tank, and how many times in the month will you need to do that, and any maintenance that might be coming up for the car or the truck. Housing, if you rent, your rent for the month. If it's a mortgage, what's your mortgage? Water, gas, electric, cable and internet, your basic housing expenses. Then we switch over to lifestyle, and of course, our lifestyle is not what it was about 2 months ago, but whatever it may be projected for May, are you going to have childcare costs, pet care, entertainment, maybe a staycation, not a vacation, right? Even though some of us have been quarantined, and education or tuition. We know in this pandemic that some of this is not likely to be an expense, but you want to make sure you're writing down what you do project for the month of May. We have insurance. If you pay money for health insurance, life, auto, homeowners, and then again, health, gym memberships, again, one of those things are probably on hold, but medicine, vitamins, medical visits, co-pays, things like that. Then we have the category of personal, clothing, maybe cell phone bill, fun money, who's been having any fun these days, but still, if you can manage a little of that. And then, of course, debt. We take a look at what is the minimum payment on any car payments, each one of your credit cards, if you have student loans, medical bills, personal loans, home equities, things like that. Those are your basic categories and subcategories that you want to list out, whether it's on paper, on a computer, online. You want to put those in. We do have a tool that will help you get started if you are new to budgeting. It will be on the gracelighthouse.org page. We'll have a click through to the Dave Ramsey budgeting form, which we see a little screen capture of it here with some fun bouncing numbers. And these are just examples. You can see this isn't us inventing the wheel. Dave Ramsey's handled this for us, and it's a great budgeting tool. Whether you do it on a piece of paper or you take his very fun looking quick start budget guide. And you can see that on the list is charity, tithing. Dave Ramsey is a Christian. Tithing is important to him. It's important to a lot of Christians. including us. And so tithing is part of the budgeting process. Now, we don't make any judgments on whether you would or wouldn't include tithing in your budgeting process. It's just there. We wanted to address it just to say, hey, it can be part of your budgeting process as well when you steward money for the Lord. So, and then there is the everydollar.com. This is Dave Ramsey's free, easy to use budgeting website or app. You can download it on your phone. You can use it on a computer. And you simply, if you already have an account, just sign in. Deirdre has a cute little example for you of an email and a password. If you don't have a registration yet, you can see below the sign in, there is the sign up now. Just click on that, everydollar.com. It's free, it's easy. If you were to look inside everydollar.com, here's sort of an example of what it looks like. You can see it follows very much the things we've been talking about. You've got your income, you've got your giving, you've got your saving, and you've got your expenses. There's two columns. You can see in income, there's planned and there's received. Planned is what you're planning to receive in income for the month. What you actually get for income would be entered in as the month progresses in the received column. And same thing for expenses. You can see some examples of what you may be planning for your mortgage or rent or your gas bill, electric bill. So that's what you're saying, hey, I anticipate this is what I'm planning this to be the expense. That's what I think it's going to be. And then you put in what you actually spent. And then at the end of the month, you can see how well you did. And did you stay within your budget? Did you spend more than what your income was? Or did you spend less and you have a little left over that you can dump on debt? Now, what are the goals of a budget? The goals of a budget are to end up with a $0 budget. And when Dave Ramsey says a $0 budget, what he's talking about is you account for every dollar that comes into your house for the month. Whatever that amount is that you're expecting to produce an income, you want an assignment of where that money goes when it leaves your house, whether it's an expense, a bill, a debt, or savings. You want to make sure that every dollar is accounted for. And this discipline does take a few months. It certainly took me a while. And Deirdre will talk at the end a little bit about the budgeting process. And what I'll say as we lead up to that is that if you're in a house, married, you got a spouse, is everyone has different personality types. Dave Ramsey talks about it in one of his FPU classes. You just want to respect that because each one of you will need to contribute to the budgeting process and need to respect and understand the approach that each person has based on their personality and come to a consensus. It's not exactly easy sometimes. It does take some time, but it is certainly necessary because you're in it together. The budget really keeps you on track. It's the beginning of that journey to be debt-free and to build wealth. And so as you progress through the month and you're bringing money in and you're spending money, you can take a look as you're entering stuff into your budget week by week. Am I keeping on track? Did I plan well? Did I project what was going to be spent correctly? Did something come in along the way that sort of kiboshed some of my budget that I need to make sure we adjust or account for the next time? And Deirdre's going to talk to you now a little bit about, if you need some additional help on budgeting.
Great, thanks, Paul. So just a couple things to take away as we wrap up here. Remember to give yourself some time to become familiar with budgeting if you have never done this before. It can be overwhelming, and it usually takes about a good 3 to 4 months to really feel like you've got it down and you've got a rhythm. And it should be shorter and shorter to get that budget done. It should take about 10-15 minutes tops once you kind of get rolling, sometimes even less than that. And so don't give up on your first try. If it seems overwhelming, go back, give yourself that time to get familiar and keep on plugging away. If you're a couple, like Paul said, try to sit down together and work that budget together because each person really should have some input and some insight into the whole budgeting process. If you're going at it alone, see if you can find what they call an accountability partner, someone who just kind of guides you, helps you if you have questions. We certainly are happy to be that person for you. And here's the thing you may not want to hear, but once you make that budget, you must follow the budget. So that can sometimes be the hardest part of this process, is sticking to that budget for that month. So we're here to help you out. If you find that you need some more assistance, we're happy to talk to you by phone. We can be present through Zoom meetings, GoToMeeting. My email is down there, dmendes@yahoo.com, so feel free to just reach out with any questions, concerns, and we are happy to work this program a little bit more with you. So we want to just say thank you so much for your time and attention today. And we look forward to getting all back together and being able to run this whole program for you. So thank you for your time.
Thanks, guys.